Hello students, myself Arjumand Qureshi. In MSc 3rd SEM special paper Fish Biology, will study the osmoregulatory system in fishes. That is the maintaining homeostasis with respect to solute concentration and water content. The definition of homeostasis means maintaining steady state equilibrium in the internal environment of an organism. Now, the solute homeostasis and water homeostasis, there are two things. One is related with ionic and neutral solids, and other is related with water balance. So, homeostasis is related with water equilibrium as well as the salt equilibrium balance. Now, the osmotic concentration means the total concentration of all solute in an aqueous solution measured in unit of osmoles. Now, osmoregulation in different environments. The challenge to homeostasis depends on steady state concentration of solute in the body fluid and tissue as well as the solute in the external environment. So, the fish lives in two different aquatic environment. One is the marine system and other is the freshwater system. So, on the basis of this marine and freshwater environment, osmoregulation is present in fishes. Now, each species has a range of environmental osmotic condition in which it can function, such as the stenohaline fishes, which can tolerate a narrow range of salinity in external environment. Either they may be a marine or freshwater group. Now, euryhaline are the fishes which can tolerate a wide range of salinity in the external environment. So, the four osmoregulatory strategies in fishes are the osmoregulator, the osmoconformators, and the different type osmotic, isosomatic, hypersomatic, and hyposomatic. What are osmoregulators? As you are all aware, the animal who can maintain the internal osmolarity different from the medium which they live, they are termed as osmoregulators. Now, on the other hand, what are osmoconformers? They cannot regulate the solute in their body fluid, and they are called as osmoconformers. The osmoconformers are also called as ionic. On the other hand, the hyperosmotic or hypoosmotic may be the freshwater or the marine fish. Now, the osmotic regulation by marine teleost. Marine teleost are hyposomatic and live in a medium having high salt concentration. So, they drink copiously to prevent osmotic dehydration. The chloride cells eliminate the sodium as well as the chloride, and the kidney eliminate magnesium and sulfate. Now, osmoregulation by marine teleost, they exhibit the oral ingestion and secretion of salt or iron in gill, absorption by kidney or urinary bladder. On the other hand, the osmoregulation in marine teleost, for example, oral ingestion. In the hyperosmotic external environment, withdraw water from the animal across the gill. To compensate this exosmosis, the marine teleost drink seawater but further increase salt content of the body. So, we can say that oral ingestion means drinking the seawater and then the balance of the salt, that is the sodium and chloride balance. Now, the osmoregulation by excretion mechanism in gill. As we are all aware that large acidophilic cells, the chloride secreting or chloride cells, are found in the gill and oral membrane of marine and freshwater teleost. So, this gill membrane, it acts as a membrane for the passage of sodium and chloride. So the sodium or chloride channels, they will help to maintain the salt concentration of the in the body. As in this example, chloride cell, the seawater make enter inside the gill, and this membrane, they will absorb the sodium, and the chloride will come from the blood cell, and in this manner the balance of active and passive passage of sodium and chloride will balance the equation in the gill membrane. Now the osmoregulation by marine teleost, it will exhibit by the absorption and secretion in the kidney and urinary bladder. So the kidney of marine teleost have low number of glomeruli. They are small in size, and the reduced rate of filtration, and which exhibit in urine flow. Reabsorption of sodium chloride followed by water in the renal tubule. Absorption and concentration of divalent ions like magnesium and others in the urine. So the marine teleost excrete very low amount of urine, concentric urine. In this diagram, the saltwater teleost, they drink seawater and see how they will preserve this, and the urine, they will eliminate the urine as shown in the diagram. So different salt they will maintain with the help of this membrane. Now the osmotic regulation in teleost fishes. The hyperosmotic internal environment causes an influx of water in the gill, and to compensate and osmosis, they will not drink water in the freshwater teleost. This is the example of freshwater teleost. The chloride cell work in reverse. Absorption of sodium and chloride ion, ammonia and bicarbonate ion exchange mechanism occur. Kidneys eliminate excess water and produce copious urine. In freshwater teleost, uptake of salt by gills and secretion and selective reabsorption in kidney occur. Now in the ion exchange mechanism, freshwater fishes, they take the sodium by active pump and chloride, while the SCO3 dissociation of hydrogen plus SCO3 ion, and in this way they will maintain the ionic exchange mechanism. The secretion and selective reabsorption in kidney and urinary bladder will maintain in teleost fish, and in this freshwater fish they will not drink water as comparison to teleost, and the skin is impermeable to salt and water, but in other condition the skin is permeable. Osmoregulation strategies of elasmobranch and coelacanth fishes. Sharks, skate and rays maintain internal salt concentration, and the gill membrane has low permeability to urea as it is retained within the fish. Retention of urea in blood by reabsorption and secretion of excess salt by rectal gland. Osmoregulation in hagfishes, they are osmoconformous, that is no strategy. Example, hagfish, internal salt concentration is equal to seawater. However, since they live in the ocean, so no regulation required. In lampreys, the strategies, they live in both seawater and freshwater. As we know the example of lamprey, they spend some part of their life in freshwater and then they migrate to seawater. That is the catadromus and anadromus, both sides of migration is present in these fishes. So they will their osmotic and ionic concentration is very much similar to teleost. Now the control of osmoregulation. Regulatory or are hormonal control, that is by adrenocortical hormone, the thyroid hormone, or prolactin hormone. And the other obligatory factors include the gradient between extracellular compartment, the surface ratio, permeability of the of the gill, and feeding. That's all for today's part. Later on in other lecture, we'll discuss the more strategies regarding with osmoregulation. Thank you.